audience. Hello, everybody. It's 1 minute before 5 o'clock, so we're gonna let you guys all join before we get started. We're making Greek turkey meatballs. Welcome to my home. And if you have any questions throughout the meatball making process, my wonderful husband Ben is my cameraman, and he can read out any of the questions that you leave in the comments, and then I can interact with you throughout the video. So I'm gonna give it about another minute before everybody can join, or I guess you can join now, but give it a minute so that everybody gets into the audience. Do you see people joining, Ben?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good.
Yes, I do, honey.
Okay, thank you. So while we're waiting for everybody to join, I'll give you just a little bit of backstory about how this came to be. So on Easter, because we're all home and we're all cooking in our kitchens and we're all eating together as families, I thought that that would be a good time to go Facebook Live for the first time. And I was making chili relleno casserole. I say it that way because if I don't, my dad gets very mad at me. But I thought, well, if there's ever going to be a time to go Facebook Live, now is the time to do it. I had time to prep all my ingredients, which I did, shredded my cheese by hand, had the peppers ready, drained them, had everything in neat, organized little bowls. I showered, and I did my makeup, that's pretty big for being at home on Easter Sunday when we're not going anywhere and we're not seeing anybody. And had everything ready, and at the very last minute, I chickened out. I couldn't do it. I don't know. We go Facebook Live all the time for our show, and I sing on the stage. I have no problem. We go Facebook Live for a million other things, but being in my home, doing something that I love, cooking, it made me nervous because I don't want to mess it up, and I don't want to hear from Jason Goodman that he can do it better, because that's typically how this goes. So anyway, that's the backstory. So when I talked about it today on the air, the guys were adamant about it. My husband's been adamant about it. I'm really passionate about cooking. So even though I didn't do my hair and my apron is really wrinkly, I call this look, I slept with Henry for a nap and I woke up not so long ago. You're welcome. All right, so let's get started. Let's make some Greek turkey meatballs. I have the ingredients in the comments, and we've made this recipe one time already before, and there were a couple things that I wanted to tweak, because the first time I made the recipe, it was very sticky, which sounds weird, but ground turkey, which is right here in the bowl, about a pound of the ground turkey, when it was all coming together, we
had a question. Was it the $100 cheese that was used for the casserole?
No, it wasn't. And also, good point. No, it wasn't. I would never use that cheese in my casserole. You need to have a cocktail while you're cooking. Mine today just happens to be from our refrigerator, a rosé. So there you go. No, it was cheddar and Monterey Jack is what I shredded by hand because it melts better. So anyway, we modified this recipe a little bit by adding a couple of our own things because it was very sticky when we were making the meatballs. We ended up grilling those turkey burgers, but today we're going to make meatballs. We use ground turkey because it's healthier, and I think also because it takes on the flavor of things that you're putting into it, so it's versatile. You can use it for anything. So in my bowl, I have a pound of ground turkey. And these are my ingredients. Again, they're in the comments. So if you're just joining us, all the ingredients that I'm using today, and I'm going to add a couple pictures and the finished product at the end of the cooking video. So, pound of ground turkey. Earlier, I saved some time. I sauteed half of an onion. I happen to have a Vidalia onion just in the fridge, so I cut that up very small. And I sauteed that, and then to that I added 2 cups of fresh spinach. And then you know that you can start with 500 pounds of spinach, and then this is always what you're going to get when you've cooked down spinach. So it's going to look like a lot, 2 cups, when you've coarsely chopped it. When you put it in here, not really that much. So to the ground turkey, you're going to add your onions, and you're going to add, on the cooking shows, this is how they do it. It's cooking shows. Like, who does it this way? No one, because it's stupid. And there's a pet peeve that I have from all the cooking shows. When they're taking things out of a saucepan and I have to just turn it around this way. It's how it works. When they're taking things out of a saucepan or they're taking things out of a bowl, there are some chefs, Rachel Ray, I'm looking at you, who they don't get everything out of the bowl, and I think that it's just so annoying to me. So you're gonna see me scraping all of the bits out of the pan. Nothing left. So put this over here.
Throw it in there for me to wash later.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm cooking, you're cleaning. That's how it goes. So in there we have the onions and we have the spinach. Then we're going to add, now this is one of the moderations, we're going to add an egg. And that's because the last time I made this recipe, it was very sticky and it just was, it bound together, but I think that it needs a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? That's why I don't really have a cooking show. I can't think of the word. I don't want it as moist. That's the word I was trying to not say. I don't want it as moist. I want it to have more of a texture of have more weight. Yeah, I don't want it to be as sticky. Okay, so in here we're going to add an egg. I think people tell you that you probably shouldn't crack it directly into the bowl in case you get a shell, but... And then we're also going to add 1/4 of a cup, even though this is a third, this is all I have. 1/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs are going to go in there. This is the modified version that we're doing. And then we're also going to add feta cheese. Now, we're using a lot of what we had already in the fridge because #thanks Corona. So I'm using about 1/4 of a cup of feta cheese. I have a small amount of just regular, plain, no flavor or anything, feta cheese. So I'm adding that in there, but then I also have, you probably wish I saved that, Ben, don't you, for our salads? The plain one?
We're getting asked about a Taco Tuesday next week.
Sure, that's a good idea. And we can have
and also revisiting the casserole.
Ooh, all right. I will. So in here we have I'm adding the feta, about a 1/4 of a cup. So I just finished what I had left of regular feta. Now this is feta that has some Mediterranean herbs. Greek turkey burgers, I thought it would be just fine. So about 1/4 of a cup. Maybe a little bit more because it's delicious. It's like Paula Deen with the butter, isn't it? All right. And then something else that is going to, excuse me, refreshment time. It's going to make it a Greek burger. This is dill. And I only had dried dill, but it works. So if you're using fresh dill, you should use a tablespoon or so of fresh dill. I have dried dill, so use about a teaspoon because it is very powerful. So using about a teaspoon or so of dill. All right, and then of course, salt and pepper to taste. To me, that's always a gamble because it's raw meat. You can't taste it. You have no idea how much you're adding. So about I did add a little bit of salt and pepper to the onions and the spinach when they were sauteing, just to add a little bit of flavor. So for right now, I'm gonna add, I would say, 1/4 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon. The cheese itself is gonna add salt to this. I'm really winging this part. Ben, correct me if you think that I should be adding something more. I don't know.
Oh no, I think you're good.
Okay.
I was looking at.
Is it too much?
I was looking at the comments about where are the kids. We have them trapped upstairs and watching a movie. So
yeah.
Yes.
And Mrs. Chris, who watches our kids every day, we call her our angel. She came over. No kidding. We didn't even tell her we were doing this. She came over right on cue and said, "Can I hang out with the kid?" I mean, she's the greatest. So she's upstairs with the kids. I'm sure we'll hear them banging around upstairs and maybe somebody will come crashing through the ceiling. All right, so all of our ingredients are in the bowl. I'm going to take off my rings because I think it's disgusting when chefs mix meat with their rings on because you know it gets in there and you know that they're walking around with rancid meat in their rings for weeks to come because it never comes out. So, preheat your oven. Guess I should have started with that. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees. We're baking these into meatballs. We made them earlier into turkey burgers. They went on the grill. They were fantastic. But I was hoping that with the turkey meatballs, it would be just maybe more fun for the kids to eat. They see Henry, our 3-year-old, sees spinach and he's like, ew, not gross, I'm not eating that. But maybe if it's in a meatball form, he will. Nora loves meatballs and vegetables. So, gonna dive in and we're just gonna mix it. Not too much, because then it really does get too firm, and they get tough. So just until it's all incorporated. My sisters, I don't know if they've joined the Facebook.
Molly's on here.
If Molly is? Okay, yep. So growing up, we're all about a year and a half apart. And one of the things that they know about me is I think that certain sounds are really gross. And the mixing of meat and tuna fish is one of those where it's like, I don't know. So I'm trying not to do this for very long. Do not like the sound of wet meat. So, are there any other questions, Ben? Anybody?
So when are you gonna start your cooking show?
Right now. Right now. Okay. So this is pretty well incorporated. And again, your oven should be preheated to 400 degrees. When we get these meatballs shaped and when we ball them up, then we're going to bake them in the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. Ground turkey, needs to be 165 to be finished. So if you have a thermometer, that's great. 18 to 20 minutes until they're brown on the outside at 400 degrees. So I have this, not touching my meat hands with anything, a baller.
Let's see. What kind of meatballs? Meatballs are the
Greek turkey meatballs.
Greek turkey meatballs.
Greek turkey meatballs. This more so just because I'm not great at eyeballing a portion size. Clearly, portion size is something that I struggle with. So I have just a little melon ball or a scooper. So this is, what is this, Ben? This is
It's probably 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. So just a tablespoon, and really just so that they're kind of all the same size and they all cook the same amount of time and they all cook the same amount. So that's a good size meatball. It's going to get smaller in the oven because it's going to cook and it's going to shrink up, but I think that's... No? More?
No, that's perfect.
What?
What wine would you say pairs well with this?
I think because it is turkey, I think, first of all, I say that you drink whatever you like to drink, and if anybody has a problem with it, you can just tell them to go on. You drink what you like. But I think something white and light, or light, like I'm drinking a rosé right now because I'm cooking. I think that would be delicious, or maybe a Greek beer would be good with this cocktail. For some reason, I feel like a Paloma, grapefruit juice and tequila, I feel like that would be really good with this too, but I don't think we have any of those things, so rosé it is. So, we're going to put these, it's a little slippery. We're going to ball these, and if you're just joining us, I am making Greek turkey meatballs. My husband is operating the camera.
And I'm holding it with my hands, so I'm trying to be as steady as possible.
You're doing great.
My arms are on fire.
We're all new to this. And it's Facebook Live, so people expect it to not be perfect. And you know what? Because I have not made these into meatballs before, we're both going to find out. We're all going to find out how many it makes, because I don't know. Typically it makes about 4 good-sized turkey burgers that do shrink when you cook them because the meat shrinks. It made 4 turkey burgers for us last time, so I don't know. We're going to find out how many meatballs, but
Jimmy says Sauvignon Blanc would be a good.
That would be good.
Good wine.
Something white and light. Yeah, for sure. Again, drink what you like.
And how far are you spacing these things apart? About 2 inches apart, looks like.
Is that your question?
Oh, that was a question.
Oh, yeah, I am not sure.
From Amanda.
Okay.
It's probably, it looks about 2 inches.
Because they're
not going to expand. They're just going to get smaller.
Get smaller. Now, as for what we can serve these with, because in our house, my husband and we love to cook, and we're adventurous, and we like to try new things and eat new things all the time. We have 2 kids. We have a 4-year-old and we have a 3-year-old. Our 4-year-old daughter, Nora, is very adventurous. Meaning she will try whatever we put in front of her if we ask her to do it. Henry, absolutely not. He's 3. He sees a vegetable and he thinks that they're all disgusting and he wants nothing to do with any of them. And every night at dinner is a battle. I don't feel like tonight is going to be any different. I think tonight is going to probably be more of a battle because he can see the spinach in there and he'll probably say, "No way," or something bratty. But I think this would be delicious. I know it would be with the turkey burgers with tzatziki. I could make a homemade tzatziki. I could also buy a pre-made tzatziki to make my life a lot easier, which I've already done. So I think we can just dip these in tzatziki, or we can drizzle it on top. I feel like these are progressively getting a little bit bigger as I go on and talk.
They're running out of space.
Yeah.
Martha asking if we're using silicone mats on there.
Yeah, yes. I am. You know what? So when I pulled this pan out the first time, I thought about greasing it so that the meat didn't stick, but then I love the silicone mat, and Ben, my husband, actually introduced me to those and brought those into my life because I never used them before I met him. I did a lot of baking with my aunt, for the holidays and stuff, I think we used them then. But now we use the silicone mats for everything.
Also getting questions, like I said, we're running out of ideas for things to cook for kids because everyone's home cooking.
Right.
So what about kids' recipes in the future?
Yes. I say yes, but I also need to figure out what kids eat because our kids don't eat anything unless they're chicken nuggets and fish sticks. And that's the part that drives me crazy because Ben and I love to cook. And I would just say, we love to try new things. And I always said, I'm not going to have a picky eater. Our kids are going to eat what they're served and they're going to say thank you. And then you have kids and then you realize that they do and say whatever they want. And that dinner sometimes is a battle in our house, and I hate it. Maybe he'll grow out of it, Henry especially. But yeah, we can definitely do kids' recipes, and if you have a suggestion, put it in the comments because I am going to need ideas. I would love to keep doing this if you all think that you're learning something. I love it, and we're going to be cooking, and I would love to share it with you. So if you have a recipe idea, put it in the comments, and we can make a schedule of things we're going to do. So we have right now, hold on, 15 meatballs that have been meatball formed, and they're going to go into an oven at 400 degrees for about, I would say, between 18 and 20 minutes. 18 to 20 minutes. Turkey needs to go to 165 to be cooked. So get your thermometers out or make sure that they're at 165. It might be closer to the 18 minute, might be closer to the 20. We have not made these into meatball form before, so this is our first time cooking them. I am going to post a picture for you of our finished product because this is not a cooking show. We do not have, my husband is my production team. We don't have that, so I don't have a finished product to show you, but I will post a picture of the finished product in the comments, and I'll give you some honest feedback and let you know how it worked in meatball form. If you want to try the recipe, it's in the comment section. Thank you for joining me. Ben, you want to get a shot of how these look before they go in the oven?
Okay.
This is my very first attempt at my Facebook Live cooking show. I'm going to wash my hands, get these in the oven, finish my wine, and then start over with the next. Bye, guys.